Good evening. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform, Facebook Live from 3 Trade Academy. My name is Dele Ayimibo. We continue our conversation of Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. For Nigerian state have everything need to survive. But the Nigerian state are unable to survive is because of the handlers of the economy who have not done what they need to do to help their state. Yesterday I spoke about Ekiti State, and today I'm focusing on Enugu State. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have everything it needs to survive, but unfortunately Nigerian state have not been able to survive. A number of states in Nigeria are struggling despite the deposit of minerals and the agri commodity that they have. It's unfortunate that we are facing this challenge as a nation, but what we have decided to do is to make information available so that for those that are interested in helping their state or those thinking of what to do and how to do it can have access to such information. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. We have proven that over and over again, from Abia State down to Enugu State today. We look at the state in general, looking at all the state have to offer, sometimes moving from local government to local government, and then providing solution on how the state can do it. I am of the opinion the Nigerian state should not focus on just empowering its people to create jobs, empowering people and create an enabling environment for businesses in the state, which is good. While doing that on one hand, don't remain at the level of what I call side hustle. Don't remain at the level of what I call side hustle. Please do something more. By something more, I mean the state should go ahead to set up a special purpose vehicle with which the state can begin to export this product itself, so that the state do not just help in production, support its citizen, but only depend on taxes. And I'm saying depending on taxes is not the way to go. Depending on taxes is not the way to go. That is not a good one at all. Depending on taxes. Because taxes mean the businesses in the state must be viable, must be able to pay salaries. If the businesses are not viable, there's economic recession, a state depending solely on taxes might not be able to survive. Why? The payer of the taxes are having issues. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state everything need to survive. But Nigerian state is impoverished, courtesy the handlers of the economy. Nigerian state is impoverished, courtesy the handlers of the economy. So I think beyond taxes, state government should contribute, should work in such a way as to generate income from export. Come to think of it, I've repeated this severally and I will say it again. Nigeria today generates its income from export of crude. Partnering with people with technical expertise from abroad to make that happen. That means at the state level, at the local government level, the handlers of the economy at that level can do exactly the same thing. Get someone, partner with a company, preferably a company resident in your state. Let them bring in expertise and expatriate to be able to do either mining in the state and be able to generate income for the state. How do you explain the fact that Nigerian state has said not to be viable? On what basis is Nigerian state not viable? Nigerian state are viable, of course. What we've done is to rely only on one source of income. You know, how can a state depend solely or almost completely, at least 80 to 90% of the income coming from a handout of the federal government? That's why even some states can really not do much. It has happened in this country that a president held the income of a state and did not pay it to punish the state governor. That's in Nigeria. With that in mind, that's to tell you that, look, as long as they are depending on the center for this money, what if it does not come? What if it does not come? By the way, Enugu State generated 75 billion naira last year. 75 billion naira last year. Out of the 75 billion, I must commend Enugu State. I must commend Enugu State. Why? 30% of the income of Enugu State is coming from internally generated revenue. 30%. I must commend Enugu State in every respect. Number one, Enugu State is not ambitious, unreasonable, but very realistic. The budget of Enugu State is 109. Do you know that states in Nigeria that Enugu State earn more than are planning to spend times 2 of Enugu State budget in 2019? So, for example, a state like, let's look at Ekiti State. Ekiti State is 45 billion income. Ekiti State budget is 129. That is still a bit better. Times 3, not better. No. Times 3, not better. Enugu is earning 75 and spending about less than half increase. Similar to Kaduna State that is doing 150% increase. Here is just a 125% increase. Commendable. Reasonable. Commendable and reasonable. Some state, very unreasonable. Check income, no income. Maximizing potential of the state, nothing is being done in that regard. So you now ask yourself, if I earn 45 billion as a state last year, and I want to spend 130 billion as a state next year or this year, on what basis will that happen? First of all, if you ask the state, okay, so how are we going to generate this income? No clear-cut strategy. Apart from few states that, okay, have some factories and industries setting up. But one thing many of those states have not done and refuse to do is to be able to ensure that the state is viable. Many Nigerian states are not viable, and that's the whole essence of doing this video. If they are viable, we won't find ourselves in this mess. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything needs to survive. But Nigerian state have not been able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. I have no doubt in my mind on this. The Nigerian state can do it, no doubt in my mind. Why? Because Nigerian state can really do it. Look at Enugu state, for example. Rice is one of their products. Just like Abakaliki. Rice, coal, and palm oil. And guess what? We are using the palm oil in our analysis. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has every need to survive. But Nigerian state have refused to survive. But we'll do our part as a die-hard optimist of Nigeria. You know, there are so many people nowadays that don't believe at all an inch in Nigeria. And they just hate the country. And I can understand their concern. Because the people at the end of affair don't seem to be interested in the growth. All right. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have need to survive. But Nigerian state have not been able to survive. In Enugu, we analyze the following. Number one, we analyze palm oil. You know, the state is a very small state with a very small land mass. So at an arable land of about 274,000 hectares. If the state cultivates palm produce in half will be 137,000 hectares. The yield for Enugu state is 18 metric tons. Sorry, the yield per hectare for palm produce generally is 18 metric tons. That will yield 2,400 metric tons of palm produce. The yield after processing of palm produce is 90%. That leaves us with 420,000 metric tons of palm oil. We need to process the palm oil, so the cost of processing and the cost of farming together is about $17 billion plus 18, which is the cost of export. That's about 35 billion. So basically, we incur cost of farming, cost of processing, cost of export. If the 470,000 metric tons of palm oil is sold at $500 per metric ton, export proceeds will be $235.11. 235. I hope I won't have to stop midway. Someone is dropping a message. You know, when I see people's arguments sometimes, I'm not sure this person, Adamiji Kolade, I'm not sure he even hear what I'm talking about. I'm saying, I don't want government support people on the side. I don't have any issue with that. But the situation where government just support people on the side only, I'm saying it's not good for Nigerian state government. As government witness and wait for taxes, they will not generate enough income. If the Nigerian government depend on taxes, they won't be able to give the state the money they are giving them. Most of the money they are giving them are for oil export. let the state government begin to export themselves. And that's what my argument. That is my argument. Let them begin to export themselves. If they don't export themselves, then it will be challenging for them to be able to meet up with their bills. I will pause at this point because I need to quickly attend to something. Then I'll come back to continue. Thank you very much.